Hey guys, Kyle Bell with AirDownGearUp, and in today's video, we're going to show you how to install the low height version of the SS1 drawer and sleeping platform system into a 6th gen 4Runner with the hybrid powertrain. So come take a look as we get this installed. So to start with, we're going to prep the cargo area. So the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to pull this cover. This simply lifts up, and we're going to set that aside. We have built into the system a means of preserving this cubby here. So you still keep this space, but we're gonna take that cover off. We're also gonna pull this cover off here, and this is just popped in place. So we'll pull that out, and that way you retain all of this cubby space. We'll just set these aside if you ever want to put them back in later. Next thing that we're going to do is we're going to pull the cargo D-rings, which is how the system is going to structurally attach to the car. So we'll start with the D-rings up front. We're going to take a tool here, and we'll pry this cap open, and then using a 10mm socket, we'll come in here and remove the D-ring. All right, so now that we've got those D-rings out of the way, we're gonna start putting our anchor bar in. So we'll grab that anchor bar. You'll have hardware in your kit. We're gonna start with the spacer. The spacer is gonna go over the hole for where the D-ring attached in, and we'll put one on each. And then the anchor bar is going to sit on top of that. And then we're gonna take our hardware here with the washer. We'll place that through. We're gonna start that by hand so that we don't cross-thread anything. We'll do that on both sides. And once that's in place, now we're gonna go ahead and snug that down and move on to the next step. If you want the next step to be a little bit easier, we're gonna loosen the brackets so that we have more room for the system to move around as we install it. So I'm just gonna come in here. We send these shipped kind of tight so that they don't fall out, but break them loose just a little bit, and that allows it to all move around and makes it just a little bit easier to install on our next step. So in the next step, we're gonna present the system into the car, and we're going to align the slot in the rails with the brackets on the anchor bar that we just installed. To make this a little bit easier, we're gonna hop in the front, we're gonna flip the seats down so we have some room to work with, and then we're gonna actually position this in the car. At this point, if you can recruit a friend or a second set of hands, that makes this a lot easier. So we'll just tip those forward, and now we've got good access to this. Makes it a little easier to install. All right, so now that the system is in the car, we're going to align that slot in the rail with the brackets. Once those brackets are on, we will slide the system towards the vehicle front. So with the system in place, we slid that vehicle forward. We're gonna get it into its approximate location, and when we put the vehicle rear mounts in, we're gonna finalize it. So to get a rough estimation, we're gonna use the wings in the cubby area, and you wanna make sure that these can open. I've got about a finger's width of gap between the cubby and the wing here. That's gonna get us close enough to mount the vehicle rear brackets. And once the vehicle rear mount brackets are mounted, then we can torque everything up front and move on to the next step. Okay, so now we're going to put the vehicle rear mounting brackets in place. In order to do that, I'm gonna open the drawer just to get a little more access. And we're going to take the bracket. These are left and right side specific, driver and passenger side specific. So we'll take this with the screw and the washer. We're gonna place that through, and then we'll take the spacer. And all of this is gonna go into the threaded hole left over for when we pulled the D-ring out. When you're doing this, just be careful to keep your hands on that spacer and not drop it into the trim. Ask us how we know, but just be careful as you put this in, and we'll get that all installed. Okay, so we've got that threaded in. We're gonna leave this kind of loose so you can see I got a little bit of room there. We'll get both brackets in on the passenger and the driver's side, and then we'll come in and tighten that up a little more, or we'll final torque that once we have both brackets in place. Okay, so to secure the bracket to the system, we're gonna take the double nut and we'll place that in there. And then we'll take our screw and we'll thread that in place. And same as the other one, we're just gonna get this threaded in, but we're gonna leave it loose until everything else is installed.
Perfect. In the bottom one, there you go, they know now. They can just do, yeah.
And I actually wonder on this, as I install this bracket, if there's a little bit of a gap here, you can extend the drawer like I have it and just kind of just give it a little shove here. And that'll help align everything so that these are close, and that makes it easier to install that screw. Okay, so now that everything is installed and we got all the screws threaded, we're gonna go ahead and start tightening things down. So the first step is we're gonna tighten the bracket to the car with a 10mm socket. So with the bracket tight against the wall, we're gonna move this system front to back until this bracket is aligned with the face of the runner here, and then we'll tighten these 2 bolts and then move on to the vehicle front anchor bar. So now that the vehicle rear brackets are in place and the position of the system is finalized, we're gonna come in and tighten the screws that attach the bracket to the runner, and then after that we'll tighten the screws that attach the bracket to the anchor bar. So we'll come in here and we'll tighten these first. All right, so if you've got the sleeping platform option on your vehicle, you've got these special risers, and these are gonna go into your seat back tethers. We're gonna flip this cover up, and very simply, this snaps in place. Now this does have kind of an angled orientation, and we want this angled so that it's pointing up as the seat back comes up. So we'll simply snap that into place, and we'll do that for all 3. And this is what your sleeper is gonna rest on when deployed. All right, so for your last step, we're gonna put these little cosmetic covers on. These are just little caps, make everything look all black. So we'll press these into the ends of the rails, and then we'll be all set. All right, guys, so with that, your system is now installed. So come take a look, let us upgrade your adventure with the SS1 from AirDownGearUp.